Alright, man, let's make this a quick one. I just saw Creed 3, and I thought it was a genuinely good time. Granted, when I saw it, it had been the only Creed movie I've seen through and through, but it interested me so much that I thought I might as well go watch 1 and 2 after I got home. Not only because of the interest, but also because I just wanted to give it a fair shot. Now, personally, I've never found Michael B. Jordan to be a very good actor.
Hey, Auntie.
In my opinion, there's always something about him that just isn't genuine to me. It's like I'm constantly aware that he's acting, and a lot of times I just don't buy it. There have been a few standouts to me, like his role in Chronicle, or even his role in The Wire. But for every Chronicle and The Wire, there's Without Remorse, or Fant Four Stick. Don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely blaming him for all of this. I kind of just think that he's not being challenged enough by a lot of his roles. Which brings me to Creed. Personally, I think that some of these things carry over into Creed 3, but at the same time there are moments when he's doing an excellent job at portraying Adonis. For instance, there are moments in the film where he has to use sign language to speak to his daughter, and in these moments he emotes very well and the emotion he's feeling comes across convincingly. On the other hand, when he's acting across from his counterpart in the film, Jonathan Majors, he's almost left in the dust. Without spoiling anything, a lot of the interactions that Adonis and Dame have together are led by Majors, and instead of bringing out the best in each other, I think that Jonathan just had a way more realistic way of acting, which helped me buy his character a lot more. Since I already used that Black Panther scene, I'll show you another to illustrate my point about Jordan going up against more emotive actors. And it's even from later in that same scene. Here, watch this.
Vibranium. Your weapons.
Our weapons will not be used to wage war on the world. It is not our way to be judge, jury, and executioner for people who are not our own.
Not your own. But didn't life start right here on this continent? So ain't all people your people?
I am not king of all people. I am king of Wakanda. And it is my responsibility to make sure our people are safe and that vibranium does not fall into the hands of a person like you.
Son?
Now when I watch that scene, it's like watching two actors of similar ranges but different calibers bounce off each other. It's kind of like how in the UFC or boxing, there's a massive difference between an unranked fighter and someone in the top 10. Both are professionals, but one just sort of gets it better than the other. It's just the little things like the shifting of the eyes, starting and stopping sentences midway through, stumbling over words, avoiding eye contact, just things like that that help make a performance a lot more realistic, because those are things that you would see in a normal conversation. Now, I do believe that Jordan is capable of delivering such realism. I just wish that more effort was put into this movie specifically. On the acting side, anyway. Moving on to the production side of it, I think Creed 3 serves as an excellent debut for him in the director's seat. In fact, if this film is any indication, I think he'd be much better suited to work behind the camera rather than in front of it, if everyone could just stop fantasizing about him for a moment. Obviously, I have no idea who did what in regards to helping this vision come true, but a lot of the creative choices in the film help make it quite engaging, and if he's responsible for those choices, then all credit to him. There are a lot of little creative moments where Creed just narrowly dodges a punch and the camera zooms in or slows down a bit. If I'm not mistaken, there was a bit of motion tracking as well, which also adds to the intensity and helps you really visualize and appreciate the boxing skills on display. Another moment perfectly visualizes the growing divide between our two leads, and I think it's handled excellently. There are too many to point out in this short video, but if you just watch the movie, I'm sure you'll see a lot of shots that make you go, damn, that's pretty creative. If you're into that kind of stuff anyway. Now, I said two leads, but if you're looking for a story that's held up and pushed by Adonis, I think you'll be slightly disappointed. And I kind of think that this is where having this movie be the first Creed I've seen was helpful in my viewing experience. A lot of this movie's emotion, save for a specific thing that happens to Creed, is focused on Damien, and I think that had the unintended effect of having me root for him over Adonis just a bit. At the start of the film, Creed kinda already has it all. He's rich in an absolutely insane house, by the way. Helps run a boxing gym, drives a nice car, retired as a champion, and even has his own champion training at the very same gym. Watching the contrast between he and Damien, I think made me more sympathetic to Damien's side, as he's fresh out of prison, doesn't really have anything, and is just generally struggling in a way that you wouldn't really want to see someone struggle. If you add to that the fact that he went to jail for so long over something that Adonis started, it's kind of like, okay, who am I supposed to be rooting for here? And at the end of the day, I kind of gravitated towards Dame. Last but not least, there's no Sylvester Stallone in this film. No Rocky. Which didn't really bother me because I didn't know what I was missing out on. That is until I went and watched Creed 1 and 2. I now know that those films were carried just as hard by Rocky as they were by Creed. So if you're watching this film hoping to see more of that dynamic, that father-son relationship, you are going to definitely be feeling the absence of Rocky. It didn't even hit me until after I had seen the other ones, but now that I'm remembering Creed 3, it's kind of like, wow, there's a lot missing here. Overall, though, I think Creed 3 is an enjoyable film and definitely worth the watch. Prepare for Jonathan Majors to steal the show, prepare for a visually creative film, and prepare to miss Rocky if you've seen the other Creed movies. I'll be back talking about The Last of Us probably when the show is finished its first season, only because, I don't know, keeping up with each episode and working a full-time job and just doing a whole bunch of other things kind of became a lot. But yeah, I'll wrap up my thoughts and ideas about that. Probably move on to something else, so we'll see. Stay tuned for my 3 subscribers.